Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to have a lesson about recycling. It's a very, very important topic nowadays. But before we talk about recycling, I'll ask you to complete the following sentences. You can read in the slide. Read the keywords below. If you look at the bottom of the slide, you can find out a couple of words, and you need to find which word fit in these sentences. So I'll pause the video now and try to complete this task, and later on we will see the answers. Okay. I hope you managed to complete the task successfully. Let's look at the answers. So, fuels store energy from the sun. That was the right word. Coal, oil, and natural gas are examples of fossil fuels. Because, as the word says, they come from fossils. So these fuels were formed over millions of years from dead plants and marine animals. We generate most of our electricity in power stations that burn fossil fuels. The Earth's reserves of fossil fuels will run out sooner or later. So this is a big issue. Because if we run out of these resources, a lot of things that we use on a daily basis or commodities will not be there for us or for our children, the next generation. But the good news is that we can use renewable energy sources such as wind, waves, and running water to generate electricity. Renewable energy sources never run out because they do not burn fuel. So another type of renewable energy source is the sun, for example. It never run out. So the sun, the wind, these things, we will always have them somehow. So if we use this kind of energy, then we will preserve the environment. So check how many words did you get right, and by looking at the slide, just try to self-assess. You can pause the video and do this. Okay, so now we will go into recycling. So the learning outcome, so what you will be able to do or to know at the end of this lesson is hopefully to describe ways to reduce the waste of resources, explain why recycling can limit the damage on the environment within an LCA framework. LCA stands for Life Cycle Assessment. And you will look at it in a minute, in the following minutes. And eventually, what I hope you will be able to do at the end of this lesson is justify the choice of recycling when feeling peer pressure. Okay, so to start, let's have a look at this video. So you can click on the link on the slide. You should have the slides to download or available on Google Classroom. So if you don't have it open already, just open the slides and click on the link and watch the video about recycling metals. And once you finish to watch the video, then continue the lesson. Okay, I hope you learned something from the video. So I invite you to have a look at this picture. As you can see, there is a man, and he looks like a robot. But the interesting thing about this man is that it's called a Wee Man. And as you can see below in the picture description, it is made from over 3 tons of electrical and electronic equipment that the average person in the UK throws away in a lifetime. So basically, this man, maybe you can't really see in the picture, but it's huge, it's very big, and this is the size of pretty much the amount of metals that a single person in the UK wastes in a lifetime. Okay, so WE is an acronym that stands for Waste Electrical and Electronic Equipment, and is a 2006 EU regulation, so from the European Union. We now, after Brexit, we're no longer with the EU, but in 2006 there was this regulation came out because of the damage that the waste in the landfill was causing, and the governments recognized there was something that needed to be done in order to save nature, because all these materials, as you probably also learned from the video, can be very damaging for the environment, for us, and the environment around us. So now I ask you to think about this, the following scenario, and trying to answer the question. So you see a friend, yours, and he throws a can of Coke in a general waste bin. So it's not in a recycle bin, in a general waste. And especially after this lesson, you tell him, oh, you could have thrown it into a recycle bin. Maybe the recycle bin was just next door, just beside the normal waste bin. And he answers that a can of Coke would not make any difference. Which, to be fair, is not wrong, in the sense that it's not going to change the environment, one more can of Coke. But I ask you to answer this question. What would happen if over 1 million people in the same day did the same? And I ask you to consider seriously this question, because we are about 7 billion people in the planet. So 1 million people is maybe not even the real number of people that actually do this on a daily basis. So just pause the video and try to answer this question. Okay, I hope you managed to find an answer, or at least say what you think. But if you were to if 1 million people would do the same of the person in that scenario, we would end up having 1 million cans of Coke per day that are just burned like that and release the chemicals in the atmosphere. So just think about it. Think for a second. Try to put 1 million cans of Coke all together in front of you and to burn them. Try to imagine what type of fire you will see, what kind of smell. That would be quite disgusting. But that's exactly what happened when you chuck your can of Coke or whatever, bottle or plastic or paper when you're tracking in the normal bin, and it could have been recycled. So if everyone has a huge responsibility on how the environment is affected by us. Okay, so now I ask you to have a look at this another video that deals talk about the life cycle assessment, and please read watch it carefully, because this video will help you to then do your consolidated task, and you can use this diagram to help you remember the stages of the life cycle assessment. But in the video, everything will be clearly explained to you, and you will have all the information you need. So pause this lesson, and you can go and watch the video, maybe on your phone, or and then you can continue this. Okay, I hope you found the video interesting. So this is the task that I ask you to do for this is the end of the lesson. So let's read it together. And then the last slide, you will have a mark scheme to mark your answer. But I please ask you to try to do the task yourself and not to watch the mark scheme, so that then you can compare your answers with the mark scheme and realize how well you did. So the consolidated task is the following. So life cycle assessment assesses the environmental impact of products such as smartphones. Some activities in the life cycle of a smartphone are listed below: extracting oil from oil wells, making plastics from oil, obtaining copper from copper ore, putting together all the components, packing the phone in a box, watching videos on the phone, taking apart the phone, and recycling the copper from some of the phone components. So what you need to do is to describe the 4 stages that are assessed in the life cycle assessment. In your answer, give at least one example from the list above for each stage. So a full answer will give 6 marks. As an extension, so if you feel confident, what you can do is you have, like, imagine that you've been appointed to make a campaign against the waste of smartphones. So what would be your most important step in your campaign? So this is, if you feel confident with this task, try to also to answer this question. So this is all for today, and I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. Thank you very much.